Welcome to the final portion of our Producing Panoramas training video. Here in this section, we will upload our photos, stitch the photos together to make our panorama. So first, we are going to open up what's called the Microsoft Image Composite Editor. Now, this is just one preference of mine that I used to stitch all of my panoramas. You certainly don't have to use this kind. There are hundreds of different kinds of photo stitching software out there. You simply would just need to use what is more suitable for you. But this one, I just thought it was very simplified and just kind of straightforward, and it produces quality panoramas, in my opinion. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go here to File, I'm going to go to New Panorama, we're going to go to Libraries, I'm going to go to Pictures, okay. Now I'm going to scroll down to find my photos. Oh, there we go. Now the ones I took are all the way towards the bottom. Okay. Now, an easy way to do this is just to press down on the Control key and click on the pictures that you want while you're holding down the Control key. And if you have a Mac, I believe it's the Command key that you would need to hold down as far as the equivalent. And this just kind of makes the process a lot easier doing it this way. And then I do have quite a bit of photo, so it's probably going to take a little bit to open up all the pictures and having them all stitched. So what I'm going to do is pause this until it's done, and then we will start back up. Okay, so here is the flat version of my panorama. Just kind of a quick rundown of what these tools are. The stitch is simply just the motion of how you want your photos to look. And there are a couple different ones. The planner motion, the 1, 2, and 3, it's simply the 180 version or 180 degree version of your panorama. So it'll only go around like in a half circle, not the full 360 degree circle. And then the rotating motion is the 360 degree circle that you're looking for. And then automatic is just when you stitch all the photos together and they're all in sort of a straight line. Even when it's published, it comes out in a straight line, which it looks kind of different, but it's not revolving. So the best motion that you want to keep it at is in the rotating motion. The crop feature, it's simply just to adjust, sort of the sides of your panorama. If there's a little bit of spacing that you don't like, you can certainly use that to reset it. Otherwise, you can keep it the same. I find it a lot easier just to keep it the same unless the photos don't stitch together very well, then that is when that crop photo would come in. But since all the photos stitched at 360 degrees, which means that they all stitch perfectly without having to be too far apart from each other, so you don't have to really worry about that. And as far as exporting the panorama, it'll just come out as a JPEG. And then there's other features that you can bring it out as, but it's just a lot easier. And it also depends on what kind of software you're using too, or what kind of computer you're using. And then scale, just keep it at 100%, just so that when you publish the panorama, it actually comes out at a reasonable size, and it doesn't come out too big or too small. So as long as you keep the scale at 100, then you're fine. So what we're going to do now is go to Publish to Web, which will actually publish the panorama, and it'll actually come out in the circular motion or the rotating motion. So, and this also is going to take a little bit to download, so we're going to pause here, and then we will come right back as soon as it's finished downloading. Okay, so our panorama is ready to be published, but first you want to give it a little bit of background. So first it's asking for a title, so we're going to say Demo of Producing Panorama Training Video. Now this tag section, you don't really have to worry about that since I'm not actually separating any of the photos in my panorama, so you can simply skip that. You can put a brief description. You try not to get too wordy. That kind of takes away from actually looking at the panorama, so I'm just going to simply say classroom at university. Very simple, very straightforward. Visibility, you can either have the whole public look at this panorama, or you can have it unlisted, which means you or anyone that you send the link of the panorama to can watch this. So considering that this is a demonstration, we're just going to keep it at unlisted. Photo rights, I would say just keep it at CC attribution, since 9 times out of 10 the pictures that are taken by the photographer who takes the panoramas, or whomever opens up the account, which in this case would be myself. So just keep it here. And then you need to create a thumbnail, which is simply just moving this little box here to the best place where you would want your picture to be, as far as for when people look at your panorama and they're wondering what it is. So since this is a classroom, obviously I kind of want people to see the desks and the chairs and kind of the blackboard here in that top right corner. So I'm going to keep it right there. And then once you're finished, you're just going to click on upload. And then it's publishing sync. Since I had already synced it before, it kind of uploaded rather quickly, just to kind of save us some time. So if you are wanting to look at your panorama, just go ahead and click on View. Oh, and it's going to ask me to sign in. And once again, you don't have to use Microsoft PhotoSynth. Again, it's my personal preference. You are welcome to use any other photo stitching software that you would like. You can use Photoshop. You can use, there's one called Jehan. And then there's professional photo stitching software that you can use, but those tend to get pretty pricey. So just as long as you can do some research on what works best for you, then it's really not an issue as to what works best. But for me, I like this Microsoft PhotoSynth. So here we have our panorama, and all I'm going to do is simply click on this little arrow here that says rotate to the left. So I'm just going to start spinning it around, and this way you can kind of see what I took pictures of. So as you can see, it's pretty clear, not too shaky, or shaky at all, I should say. Yep, it's very clear, very, very straightforward. And we are completely done. One more thing, if you go to My PhotoSynths, it shows all of your panoramas, and then the more panoramas that you actually do, obviously the more clearer or the better that you will become as far as stitching panoramic photos together, which will enable you to go and excuse me, do panoramas of more popular areas or just bigger areas in general. So this concludes our Producing Panoramas training video. I hope that you found all of the information that was told both in the first part of the video and in the second portion very helpful. And if you have any questions, please feel free to contact me on my webpage or on YouTube, since these will be published there as well. Thank you very much. Take care. Bye-bye.